Just a word to the wise, if you are indeed drinking this morning, well, you may want to be very careful about it. 76 degrees as we kick off this Friday with Greg Banks. It is the 19th day of May 2017. Welcome to it on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM here in Huntingdon. Hey, big day today. Bearcats taking on Penn Cambria. That's happening at 4 o'clock. Dave Shannon has all the action for you, and we'll have more about that coming up throughout the day. Meanwhile, open phones today. Anything you want to talk about. 814-506-0609. That's 814-506-0609. I see somebody's jumped on the line already. Good morning to you. Who's this?
Hi, Greg. This is Ken Wright. How are you today?
I'm fine. Marty, how are you, my man?
Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm just jumping in the studio. I threw out on Facebook this morning. I'm glad you saw it. To give us a call. We'll put you on the air, of course, talk about some things. We're in Huntingdon County. You're in Johnstown. How you doing these days, Marty?
How about recently unemployed and job hunting?
That's not cool. When I left Johnstown about a year and a half ago, you had some work, didn't you?
Yes, I was working for a major health insurance company at the time.
Doggone. I'm sorry things didn't work out. What happened? Well, we won't get into that. But listen, I see you on Facebook, and I got rid of a couple trolls here on my Facebook page last week, and I don't know if they're listening, but anyhow, when they started kind of offending my friends in Johnstown, I kind of got pissed and took them off the Facebook page. I think you noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, one in particular, yes.
Oh, my God, and the only reason I hung with that kid for years is because I knew his dad well and I knew his grandmother well, and I thought maybe perhaps he got a little bit of that moral character from them, but not to be, man. But that just seems to be the way it is with social media. So what's going on in your life, man? What do you want to talk about here? Because we do this every day.
I was just wondering about our wonderful child in chief.
Yeah, well, what about that? Oh, yeah, let me ask you about that. Your thoughts on Donald Trump. And like I always say on the show, I don't want to get real political, but, man, there is no way to really get around this situation that's happening in Washington. Seems like every day he's tweeting out something, getting in trouble. And, man, I think the guy has a mental issue, but what do you think, Marty?
I would say he definitely has some type of mental issue.
Yeah.
Narcissistic, paranoid.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you had psychiatrists get together in New York and state specifically that he has a mental issue.
Yeah, yeah. The people that follow him, and I can't blame them. They wanted a change, but I don't think they saw this change coming. When the guy runs a business, that's totally different than running a country, man.
Well, even his businesses have mostly failed.
Yeah,
and the businesses that haven't, we're now finding connections to Russian money and VEB Bank.
Well, that seems to be the biggest problem in all of this now, with Robert Mueller taking on the special counsel. And he, of course, former FBI guy. I don't think there's anything you can find on that guy's resume that doesn't say he's actually ready to do this job, and he's not going to pledge his allegiance to Trump. Really, it comes down to follow the money. I mean, Trump obviously borrowed money from these Russians. I mean, he's in their pocket.
Correct.
Is that what you're feeling?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I've looked into this extensively. There's a Dutch documentary, The Dubious Friends of Donald Trump, where there have been a VE Bank being one of the big ones, which Putin was himself signing off on loans.
Yeah, yeah. And
he was attached to Felix Sater, who was Russian mob.
Right.
And involved with his campaign, though he says he doesn't know the man at all. Felix Sater says, I saw him up to 2 times a day 6 months prior to the election.
Mm-hmm. And I'd like to be an apologist for Donald, but I got to be quite honest, there's nothing I can do to save this guy. From the beginning, Marty, and I've said all along, going back to the 1980s when he wrote the book, Trump had the book out. I read the book several times. He wanted to be like Howard Stern. He was always calling Howard being on this show, and with his bravado and his ego, and as you mentioned, narcissistic. And now I think it's really a mental issue. He forgets that he lies all the time. That's the other problem. Right. And nobody can clean that up.
What he lied about.
Yeah. Well, here again, if you follow the money, let's face it, Putin pretty much took everything he wanted. You know what I'm saying? He could, for a while, You got to remember the regime in Russia. He could be the prime minister, for, let's say, for 5 years, and they'd be the president for 5 years. The guy can be in control. He's a dictator, and he can move money. He can move money around, right? So, really, if we follow the money, when you get right down to it, they're implicated, and he's in deep. Now, here's my problem, Marty. The people that back Trump, God love them. Maybe they wanted to change, but I don't see a lot of people jumping off the train. But we're seeing people in Congress and people in Senate getting ready to step back because guess what? These people have to run for re-election soon, and their constituents are tired of it, and they're all connected if they stay as supporters of Trump.
Right.
So,
well, you have Paul Ryan, for one, who is
my
now
God.
diehard, but then again, his super PAC just got $100,000 from Donald Trump.
Yeah, but listen, you hear the excuses all the time. What about Obama? What about Clinton? I mean, that's what I hear. And look, I'm not trying to go
Hillary?
back. Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to go back there, okay? What's been done is done.
Currently president.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tactic that everyone who's losing an argument uses. Let's divert the conversation to something else or someone else. Speaking of which, that was your troll that you got rid of.
Hey, that troll just continued to, throw out distractions. Did you see some of the stuff he was putting out there? I don't know. I think he thought that was certified documentation. Some of the crap that he had us reading, man.
Yeah, he definitely, and like I said, I can agree with the position that they want to change, and a lot of the things Donald Trump said during his campaign, I had no problems with.
Right.
But you're talking about a man that paid people to canvass areas, find out what they wanted to hear, and then repeat exactly what they wanted to hear.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. It's, of course, a Friday as we kick off this Friday on the Greg Banks Show on the airnetwork.net, 94.1 FM. You know, I wish I could have been doing this in Johnstown, Marty, because I think they need it there. Open dialogue. People can discuss things. You know, I'm in this small town, and it's kind of cool. We're Republicans, though, down here. And I got to be quite honest, like I said, I'm kind of walking the fence here because I don't want to offend people, but we got to bring the issues to them and so that they understand it. So I really appreciate you chiming in. How's my friends over there, Andy and those guys at the laundromat? You go over there at all?
They're all doing great.
Are they? You tell them I said hi, man. I miss all you guys. I really do. But
we miss you too.
Well, thank you, man. You know, and I go back to you and I. We met when I had the store there in Hornerstown.
Right.
And man, what about the shootings? I talk with Ron Esposito from time to time, and he just can't wrap his hands around what's going on in Johnstown with the shootings. And they're not random, but I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Because
it's an issue of the housing authority being on speed dial in major ghetto areas.
Right,
and you're talking drug traffickers who have connections in those areas to buy cheap.
Yeah.
Then they come here and sell expensive, and it's basically drug things between young people.
It's an open market, kind of like, because I'm seeing this connection, this pipeline, like from down around Allentown to even Huntingdon and Johnstown, where, basically they're selling their wares open market. And a lot of what I think we're seeing there in Johnstown is retaliation, wouldn't you say, Marty?
Oh, yeah, in many instances.
Yeah.
Many instances. Yeah. But like I said, in the end, it all revolves around the drug trade.
Yeah, and how many years did we discuss that housing situation there in Johnstown? I'm trying to think what the director's name was. He was there for many years. And basically, like you said, speed dial. If I have Section 8 and I live in New Jersey and I want to find housing, they go through a computer and they say, hey, well, there's a place called Johnstown, Pennsylvania that has all this housing. They've never been there. They come up on a train or maybe a ride, and then all their families show up.
Right.
Ooh.
And that's exactly how it works.
Scary.
It's from New York, it's from Philly, it's from New Jersey, and it's from the worst sections of those places.
Yeah. And you know what's been going on for years, Marty? You remember back in the early 80s, we had all the Haitians down in Kernville. That's where I first landed when I got to Johnstown in 85. I stayed there 5 years and then got a house out in Roxbury. But having said that, and had a business in Hornerstown, and it seemed like there was an influx of people then, and we kind of stemmed the tide for a while, and here we are the last 10 years, man. It's just growing.
Well, it's a change of the population. You have a lot of people that were here lifelong moving out.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have these people moving in, even though it's in smaller numbers, they're becoming a larger part of the population because the population is shrinking.
Oh, man, you know, your demographics and your numbers in Johnstown have decreased exponentially over the last decade. I got to believe there's only probably less than 15, 20,000 people in town anymore.
I'm going to say less than 15.
That's
we
crazy.
were voted the fastest shrinking city in the United States.
And we were voted one of the coolest towns in America in Huntingdon. So look at the...
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, but we have drug problems too, you know, and boy, it's so sad. Hey, you know what else, Marty? When I left there, and I still have a house there, but I had to put up with the crap about the sewage thing. Now, if you remember, they sold the sewage plant years ago. I think they collected $20 million. They put some of the money into Point Stadium, which, again, Ron Esposito keeps bringing up. Nobody ever uses the Point Stadium except AAA-BA. You have a lot of people that abandoned their houses, like these older people. And there are a lot of old people in Johnstown. They just left their homes, man. They couldn't afford to get into that sewage system.
Correct.
Damn, you know,
and
so
you have
it's
to
sad.
wonder about the EADS group and whatever agreement was made, because the amount of pressure testing that's going on is ludicrous
Yeah.
to the actual flow.
There's money being made all over the place there. And, you know, for years, and I don't know what has to happen in Johnstown. Hey, one of the things that you asked me about, and I just touch on this real quick, about 5 years ago, I did an investigation into the Johnstown School District radio station. And I tell you why I did it. I wanted to buy the station, WCRO, when it was available about 13 years ago. Well, the school district got it for $80,000 off of a religious group that at the time owned the station. Now, here's the wild thing. The school district got it under the auspices, we're going to do training. We're going to teach these kids how to run radio. Plus, we're going to use the radio system for a wireless network for our school. Well, guess what? They spend about $300,000 a year, okay? None of these kids ever get on this station. They've developed jobs, you know, for their friends who basically do absolutely nothing, and they never got the wireless system, and they never got the training. So, in that,
you know how nepotistic we are here.
Oh, my God, I thought we killed that back in the days of, remember Cambria County, the Roberts family seemed to be like getting those gigs up there, and I thought we did away with that years ago.
No. You still have, especially in the school system, you still have quite a bit of nepotism going on.
Wow.
We just recently had elections. I thought maybe there'd be an upset. No, you got the same names and everything.
Yeah, isn't that something? Now, although I did see where Ricky Britt, Sylvia King, I think John Cola's back in, I think Marie Mock is back in, and then what was the mayor's name?
Jankovic.
Yeah, or Jankovic or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So some of the old heads are still there, but you got some fresh blood there, but nobody young. You know, nobody like... you know, here again, you could probably run for office, but you probably don't want the headache. I know one of the guys that you oftentimes discuss and talk on Facebook with, and I do too and have for years, Gary Tokar. Gary ran for mayor years ago, you know, and their big deal was at the time, it's like, well, yeah, but he smokes dope and he promotes it. Well, guess what? Hey, isn't it interesting how years ago, everybody back in the 60s and 70s, they're now like superintendents, presidents, you know, and stuff. And everybody toked a joint back then. It was kind of open and nobody pissed with us. And now you have all these regulations. And here's the really sad thing, Marty. All these people that went to jail over nickel dime stuff.
I know. It's retarded.
Mandatory. And now it becomes commercial. And now we're going to sell stock on Wall Street. And make it legal.
You're still going to be drug tested at your job.
How about
even
that?
Though they can't tell how long ago you used marijuana.
I know. Yeah.
They have proven that all of the studies that were done were purposely biased to keep it scheduled. And yet you still have the mentality that this is what it does to you, that's what it does to you, and all of those have been proven false.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much data have these people received over the last maybe 5 decades, man? Come on.
Yeah.
It's not, you know what?
Well, in the past 5 years, a lot has come out, but in fact, the DEA has recently removed a lot of the stuff from their website that was said about pot because it's proven to be lies.
Right. And you know,
recent studies.
Yeah, I used to say to people back in the day, and this is in the 70s when I first got to Altoona. I was 19 years old, working on the radio, and my friends would come to my house, and they'd pass around the joint. And I would say things like, well, I'm a pinhead. So I'd say, well, I don't condone it. I don't condemn it. And they'd be like, just pass the damn thing on, man. Don't be like Obama and be bogarting this joint. We don't want to hear that speech. But anyhow, things are, I don't know, man. Historically, I'm not feeling good at this time. What do you think, Marty?
No,
Jeez.
no, I do not have great confidence in where the country's going. I see a totalitarian government starting.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing allies left and right.
And why is that?
Well, the Russian leak for one.
Yeah.
Which people are trying to deny, and yet he come right out and said he did it himself.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to go, oh, well, he had a right to do it.
Yeah.
But you just said he didn't do it. And now we have countries, Europe has said, that's it, we'll share no more intel with you while he is president.
Yeah, he closed the door, got with the Russians, gave them information that Israel gave him, I guess.
Right.
What kind of confidence do we expect another country to have if our guy is sitting here just handing out stuff?
Right.
It's like, man, can't you keep a damn secret? Do you, even go back to about 3 months ago when he met Comey at the White House. He brings him over and he goes, oh, you're getting to be more popular than I am. And I don't think he can stand that. So
no,
he gets.
Can't. He's the narcissism that drives him up a wall.
Don't you think one of his kids would say, Dad, I think you need to get your medication, or saying, like, pull him to the side and say, look, Dad, this doesn't look good. It's like.
Imagine being raised in that with no adversity in your life because of multi-millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They're not much different than he is.
And money's not going to help those people right now. Seriously. You can't run the country like you run a corporation. You do have to answer to, and here's the problem. All the disinformation that is surrounding the White House, they can't even get their story straight because somebody like Sean Spicer, who has to stand in front of the press every day and answer those questions.
Hide in the bushes.
Yeah, he's hiding in the bushes. And he doesn't know how to respond because now, unfortunately, after months of this, he's afraid to say anything because, oh, my God, Donald's going to muck that up tomorrow.
Right. He's going to say that was wrong, blah, blah, blah.
And I don't know how Paul Ryan and the rest of... Hey, I see Paul Ryan. I don't know, Marty. Maybe you see the same thing I see. He's going to end up like John Boehner, man. He's going to be drinking and crying probably the rest of his life, Oh,
yeah.
He's like that
popsicle stand. I see a lot
stand.
of Republicans are either going to back off their support of the president, or they're going to end up not reelected.
Hey, well, in our area, Keith Rothfuss over there in Johnstown, you know what? He's been hiding, man, and the people want to talk to him. In our area, G.T. Thompson, they want to talk to him. Bill Schuster, and we also have, Pat Toomey. These guys are going to have to answer to somebody because guess what? They're going to have to run again, and if they hide behind Trump, I'll guarantee you, that's how you drain the swamp, man. Maybe, listen, and maybe this is a conspiracy. But I thought all along when Trump ran for the president, and there were 17 candidates, remember? There were all these people, and he was knocking them down like a picket fence. I'm like, damn, what if the Democrats planted him, okay, and he's going to get in there? I don't know. That was what I thought all along. Like he's going to quit somewhere along the line, or he's going to mess it up so bad, he's going to be impeached, and now we're going to be stuck with Mike Pence.
Yeah. I'm not fond of either side's tactics. They're right now, left or right, they're both puppets to big money.
Yeah.
Or special interests, and it's not how you run a country.
And who gets hurt in the long run? We do. The Americans get hurt. It's like they have their own little social club going on down there around the Beltway, and it's worse today than it is, oh my God, in recent memory. The only other time I can remember it being this bad was back in 72, 73 with Nixon, man.
Yeah.
So
right. I think it always has been. It's just it's become such commonplace.
Yeah.
They don't even think they're doing wrong anymore.
Well, they got to answer to somebody. Seriously.
Well,
you got to answer to somebody.
They believe that we're answering to them anymore. That's how it works now.
Oh, my goodness.
When you can point to a reporter and go, I want him jailed, and he goes to jail, I can't think of the reporter's name right now, for asking questions.
Right. And they
Come on.
and listen,
You're not in a democracy.
and they've aligned themselves with the Russians, at least Trump has, where, in Russia, they just shoot you, man. I mean, seriously.
Right.
And did you see the other day when he met with the Turkish, I guess, prime minister or president? The bodyguards were outside. They were told to go jack up the protesters. So they went over there, and none of those bodyguards from Turkey went to prison because they have diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
And I got to believe maybe Trump said, hey, why don't you send your boys over there, to those protesters across the street and kick some ass. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that we can even be going here with the conversation because of just how bad it is.
It is.
When you have to start reaching for these straws, there's a problem. There's manipulation going on.
Right.
How do you have a free country at that point in time?
Yeah. And I'm not saying we're doomed forever. We just got to make a change. And here there have been so many distractions. Nothing really is getting done in Washington, if you notice it. And now he's going overseas. Yeah, and he'll go overseas now, I think later today. And who knows what's going to happen over there. Although, 5 o'clock in the morning, he's going to sit on the golden throne and tweet something out that's just going to be so ridiculous. No, seriously.
Of course. Of course.
And it's like watching...
Yeah, he just does it all the time. And what's really bad is he has redacted some of that.
Oh, man.
And that's illegal.
Yeah.
It's presidential communication. It is illegal for you to erase it.
Yeah.
And yet he has erased it.
Hey, one thing I think is cool, though, Marty, is that Comey probably does have a memo. I mean, because let's face it, FBI guys are covered, man. And so when he gets called to the investigation and he reveals that, and after Donald said, hey, how's he know I don't have tapes? Well, guess what, dude? If you have them, give them up because that's just another nail in your coffin. Oh,
well, yeah,
Lord.
Lindsey Graham just come out and said this is not only an impeachment investigation anymore. This is turning into a criminal investigation.
Exactly, and I appreciate him saying that because, it's deeper than that. And you know what? You're going to see some heads roll. You're going to see some people hiding. And more importantly, you're going to go back and see people like Flynn ask for immunity, and they're going to spill their guts. They almost have to.
He's already been denied immunity.
Oh, really? Oh,
well, he won't he won't testify without the immunity.
Yeah. Well, I guess everybody's going to get lawyered up, and then, hey, Marty, real quick, let's let the folks know you're from Johnstown. What's your resume look like? What do you want to do? Because I know you just finished up college here recently. You got some experience. Maybe we can find you a job down here and move you to Huntingdon.
I have a degree in legal assisting.
Okay.
I hold journeyman's papers as a CNC machinist, and I have a 2-year education in data entry.
Oh, okay. Data entry, that's a strength. Well, you know what? We have the prisons here. Of course, that's a state gig. That's our biggest part of the economy. In Huntingdon, we have Smithfield, which is a relatively medium, the prison. Then we have Huntingdon, which is the old one. It's maximum security. And then, of course, we have the lake here. We can tout about that. And we have Juniata College. And we have a hospital about to be gobbled up, I think, by UPMC. So I don't know what I can offer you right now, man.
Yeah, I'm in I just joined the staffing company.
Okay.
I'm supposed to start today. I know that, I did have a problem in my past about 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
That has since cost me a $21 an hour job.
Oh, God.
And now a $17.50 an hour job.
Yeah.
And today I was supposed to start for Gallagher's. I'm not sure if I will be or not, because I got a call last night from the staffing company saying that your background check's pending.
Oh, man.
Why is everyone going back 10 years and more?
Exactly. And, here again, I can't make it off a $9 a job. Thank God I did my business for about 45 years, and then I got out. I'm kind of still in the game, but, I was able to get that rocking chair money this year, so that helps out a little bit. But at the same time, man, I feel bad for any youngster, and especially somebody who might be in their mid-40s to maybe mid-50s, because, man, it's like, who's hiring people with experience anymore? They keep getting these kids for $9 an hour. Well,
and I have a child support obligation to go with it, so I cannot take money at that level.
Exactly. And so I find it rough. But listen, I will keep you in thoughts and prayers, but I also keep in touch with you because if I hear something, man, I will certainly ring your bell. We can always hook up on Facebook, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
Hey, but listen, tell all the folks back home I said hi. I miss you guys. And, man, I know you and I used to have some nice conversations at the laundromat. I keep telling people I could have bought the equipment, man, but that was my social event. You know, some guys go to the bars. I was going to the laundromat. Plus, also, Marty, they said I could meet chicks there. I never saw any chicks at that laundromat.
No.
That was a
You're
word.
better off at plentyoffish.com there, man.
Hey, I'd have been better off going to church or maybe over to Bilo there at Randy's, you know, and checking out
At
the
the
produce
produce
department.
section.
Thank you. That's where you meet them. It's like, can you squeeze this melon for me? Sure. And, you know, the last time I was asked that, it was a woman who was about 85 years old. So you see what I was getting. Basically
Right.
nothing. So,
I know the feeling, man.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
been there, done that. Hey, Marty, have a great
Yeah.
weekend, man. Thanks for calling. Let's do it again, okay?
All right. You have a good one, Greg, and thanks for having me on.
All right. Thanks again. Great conversation, Marty. Talk to you later. All right. My good friend Marty calling from Johnstown this morning. On the Greg Banks Show, you can call us as well. 814-506-0609 is my number. It's a Friday. We've got some things to talk about. Coming up. Stick around.
Give you a ticket. So